Hey, welcome back to the Weekly Word. We're here in historic downtown Englewood, Tennessee. I'd have to deal with some traffic noise coming by here. It's getting about the middle part of the day. Lots of traffic comes through. I wanted to show you a place. This is where I grew up. This is my hometown. Went to school here for 8 years. And I'm standing in front of a place that more specifically I grew up. Times were different back in the 60s. This was Reed Brothers, the pool hall. More commonly known as the beer joint. My papaw and his brother Willard and Alger Reed, they ran this thing for decades, and they had it made. They worked 6 days a week. It was open 6 days a week. Each one of them flip-flopped, so they really only worked 3 days a week. And papaw, most of the time on his off days, he would go bass fishing or just get out in the country and ride around. Wish we could take you inside, but it's some kind of defunct business or something's in here now, I guess. Nothing stays in here very long. But it was kind of a Wild West type of saloon. I don't ever remember a woman in there, but there was all kinds of old men in there drinking their beer. It was very smoky and nicotine-stained walls and booths. Most of them was like old World War II veterans. And as a boy, I sat in there on a round stool and liked to spin around at the bar and have a Slim Jim or a Mountain Dew out of the cooler, or pickled eggs or crackers were on the bar there. It was Papaw's place. Well, a lot of folks remember the old beer joint that went out of business about 40 years ago, but many people don't know what happened to it. Well, what happened to it is Papaw got out riding around in his car one day, and he went up into the mountains, and that old Ford only had AM radio in it. And he couldn't get anything to come in except for, he said, a preacher. Turned out it was Ted Watson, was another famous preacher in this area about that time. But he said he got to listen to it just to hear some noise, and said he got under conviction. And he said in a little bit up there somewhere around the Indian boundary, he said he pulled that car over and said he went out and he got on his knees in the pine thicket. And he said, Lord, said, I want to be a Christian, but said, I can't follow. He said, I can't serve you and serve beer. He said, help me get rid of that beer joint. And he did. An offer come up and he sold it. It wasn't a beer joint anymore, and Papaw retired. Went on to become very active in Dixon Avenue Baptist Church. He was Sunday school superintendent there, I think, when he died. But I'll never forget, I've heard him say many times, Papaw said, I was a businessman my entire life. But he said the best business deal I ever made is one day I traded a beer joint for Jesus. That's a pretty good deal, friends. See you next week on the Weekly Word.